teacher is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Whoa. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel. And welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Ministry of Education Etal, and it is indeed a pleasure for me to be here with you this morning. It is a beautiful day here on Nevis. We have the sun shining brightly, and if you're anywhere where it is a bit colder or a little bit more bleak, we're sending you some of our very own Nivision Sun packaged right here through Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. We have come to the end of the first week of term 2, and of course it started off, I think we had a bang of a start. We know that this term comes with many different activities, and we want to remind everyone that our aim is to seek to get or to gain some form of semblance of balance. It is not going to be easy finding that balance, not for the teachers, not for the students, not for the parents. Getting back into the rhythm of the new term, and of course constantly adjusting to the various changes and variables that may arise. However, we know that term 2 also comes with a very active track and field season, and we'll talk a bit about that. What does that look like? We always want to remind us that even though we have a very active track and field season each year, that does not mean that it is the only thing happening, and so we encourage you to continue to support your children academically as well. We cannot say enough that it is not enough to just have a record on a race or train assiduously physically for a particular race or event, but it is important to continue to train the mind, provide those supports for your children. So no matter how young they are, I know that when we speak sometimes it feels as though we're speaking towards college or tertiary level or the next step, but no matter how young our children are, we want to make sure that we provide opportunities for them to be able to access and to be able to be successful as they go along. So we'll touch on the track and field calendar for Nevis. We'll talk about some of the upcoming meets, and then we will and just a fair warning that the information I'm sharing is predominantly what is on the Nevis track and field calendar. I will not go into great detail about the specific school calendars as yet, but the schools have started sharing the details of their specific calendars. So we look forward to you supporting our students. We know that it is going to be a packed term. We have Black History Month concerts coming up. We have the Leeward Islands debating competition coming up, and I'll touch on that as well this morning for a bit, just in case some persons may have missed that information. We started sharing last year. So it is we're trying to find that balance, and as we bring term 2 to a close, even though we're just opening it, then we start looking towards term 3 and all that has to offer, especially as it relates to comprehensive examinations, external examinations, and things of that sort. So I will share verbally share the calendar with you, and you can look out for the updated calendar or the actual flyer in short order. Sometime by Monday, offices are now closed, but sometime by Monday we will circulate that official calendar for you to see what we have to offer, what is coming up. I know that some of you have to ask off, you have to get your time sorted out, and so we're very mindful of that, and we will share with you what the calendar looks like. Very packed. The first activity that we have slated is for January 22nd, and that's the CSS Lions Field Events Competition. That will be at the Nevis Athletic Stadium from 9 a.m. and that is an important part of the calendar because it focuses on, it gives the children a chance, all the children across the school, a chance to participate in these field events, and for the teams to see where they are as it relates to the field events. So that is the first activity that we have listed on the calendar, and every activity on the calendar, of course, is open to the public, and more information will come from the various schools. On January 25th, the Federal Giant Malt Relay Championship will be reintroduced. We have not had the Giant Malt Relay Championship, I think, since COVID, and it is always an exciting activity. It is currently scheduled for January 25th at the Kim Collins Stadium. I just wanted to interject that. I know we're focused on the Nevis calendar, but the Giant Malt Relay Championship is on the schedule for this season. Because it's this close, I wanted to touch on it. The 30th of January, we'll see the Maud Smith Preschool, and they will have their sports activity on at 1 p.m. at their school's grounds, right over there, Bath Village, right very close to our studio here. So I don't know if Melissa and I will be participating in that one, but we know where Teacher Maya's school is. Maud Smith Preschool will have their activity on January 30th at 1 p.m. The EPPS Anniversary Relay Festival will take place on February 1st at the Nevis Athletic Stadium, and that usually features primary and secondary schools. It started off and track clubs. It started off with primary schools, it extended to secondary, and then track clubs were incorporated, and of course we have persons invited from St. Kitts as well. So that's always an interesting activity, a growing activity, and we look forward to that at 1:30 p.m. on February 1st, 2026. On February 12th, Gingerland Secondary will have their meet at 1 p.m. at the Nevis Athletic Stadium. On February 13th, the St. James Primary Road Relay Festival from Newcastle to Mannins at 1 p.m. On February 18th, the Charlestown Primary will have their meet at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 12:30 p.m. On February 19th, Elizabeth Pemberton Primary at the Flats at 1 p.m. On February 20th, Charlestown Secondary School at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 12 noon. On February 24th, the Nevis Academy at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 12 noon. On February 25th, Ivor Walters Primary School, Nevis Athletic Stadium at 12 noon. On February 26th, so we are seeing 24th, 25th, 26th of February, Joycelyn Library Primary, Nevis Athletic Stadium at 12 noon. We see the Maud Cross Prep on March 3rd at Nevis Athletic Stadium. St. Thomas's Primary, March 4th, Nevis Athletic Stadium at 1 p.m. March 5th, Cicely Brown Integrated School at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 1 p.m. March 6th, the Violet O. Jeffers Nichols Primary School at the school's field at 12:30 p.m. March 6th, the Gingerland Preschool at the Hard Times Playfield at 12:30 p.m. March 7th and 8th, we will have the Bank of Nevis High School's Championship at the Nevis Athletic Stadium. That's a two-day event starting at 12:30 p.m. On the 10th, St. James Primary at the school's field at 1 p.m. That's March 10th. March 10th also, V&J's Preschool, ETW Park, 1 p.m. The Naomi's Preschool, March 11th at the St. Thomas's Primary School field at 1 p.m. March 12th, the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 10 a.m. That's the Montessori Academy. March 12th, Nevis Athletic Stadium at 10 a.m. On March 13th, Inez France Preschool at the St. Thomas's Primary School's field at 12:30 p.m. On March 13th as well, the Nevis International Secondary School will have their meet at the Flats at 12 noon. The Vernon Lou Preschool, March 16th, Vernon Lou Preschool, school's grounds at 1 p.m. March 17th, Maud Cross Preschool, ETW Park at 1 p.m. March 19th, Combermere Preschool, VOJN Field at 1:30 p.m. Then on March 20th, the St. John's Preschool at 1 p.m. at the Bath Playfield. And then on March 24th, Charlestown Preschool, Bath Playfield at 1 p.m. We culminate the season with the Nevis Inter-Primary Schools Championship at the Nevis Athletic Stadium, 12:30 p.m. So as you can tell, it promises to be a very active calendar, and we want to encourage you. I'll go through them again after the break for those who tuned in late, and once again you will have it in your hand on your phones in short order. I think it's just about complete. It is complete. We were able to list all of the schools and give you the assigned times, and so we will circulate it to you in short order. So we'll take a short break. When I come back, I'll run through it one last time, just because there are so many dates and in case you missed it. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
From Queen City, Nevis, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, Vaughan Radio.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. An hour passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughan Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughan Radio. Today we are spending some time focused on what the term looks like, giving a general overview. Of course, every school will have their individual school PTAs, but we want to give you a general sense of what the term looks like, especially for those who generally set their schedule around the track and field calendar. So just before the break, we were going through the dates and times, and we will do it one last time, I hope, and then from here you should be able to get it via the various mediums. You'll get it through our various media. We'll get it through social media. We'll get it through WhatsApp and through your school groups as well. All right, so we're starting off the season on January 22nd with the CSS Lions Field Events Competition, and that is scheduled to be at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 9 a.m. We'll continue with the Maud Smith Preschool on January 30th at the school's grounds at 1 p.m. Then we'll go to the EPPS Anniversary Relay Festival that has become a staple on the calendar on February 1st at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 1:30 p.m. Then the Gingerland Secondary School will have their meet on February 12th at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 1 p.m. St. James Primary School will have their Road Relay Festival that involves most if not all of the primary schools, and that starts at Newcastle and goes to Maddens, and it starts at 1 p.m. The Charlestown Primary School will have their meet on February 18th at the Nevis Athletic Stadium starting at 12:30 p.m. The Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School will have their meet on February 19th at the Flats at 1 p.m. On February 20th, the Charlestown Secondary School will have their meet at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 12 noon. On the 24th of February, the Nevis Academy will have their meet at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 12 noon. On the 25th and I think from here on in we're going day to day today, the 25th, Ivor Walters Primary, Nevis Athletic Stadium, starting at 12 noon. That's February 25th. The 26th of February, Joycelyn Liebert Primary School, Nevis Athletic Stadium at 12 noon. On the 3rd of March, Mart Cross Prep, Nevis Athletic Stadium at 12 noon. St. Thomas's Primary follows on the 4th of March at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 1 p.m. On the 5th of March, the Cicely Brown Integrated School will have their meet at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 1 p.m. On the 6th of March, the VOJN Primary School will have their meet at the school's field at 12:30 p.m. On the 6th of March as well, the Gingerland Preschool will have their meet at the Hard Times Playfield at 12:30 p.m. On March 7th and 8th, we will see the Bank of Nevis High School's Championship, and that will take place at the Nevis Athletic Stadium from 12:30 p.m. Then the St. James Primary will have their meet on March 10th at the school's field at 1 p.m. VNJ's Preschool on March 10th at the ETW Park starting at 1 p.m. Naomi's Preschool March 11th at the St. Thomas's Field at 1 p.m. That's St. Thomas's Primary School's Playfield. On March 12th, Montessori Academy, Nevis Athletic Stadium, starting at 10 a.m. On March 13th, Ines France Preschool, St. Thomas's Primary School's Field at 12:30 p.m. The Nevis International Secondary School will have their meet on March 13th at the Flats, starting at 12 noon. The Vernon Lou Preschool will have their meet at the school's grounds at 1 p.m. on March 16th, and right after on March 17th, Malt Cross Preschool, the ETW Park at 1 p.m. On the 19th of March, the Cumbermere Preschool will have their meet at the VOJ Schools Field at 1:30 p.m. And then on March 20th, the St. John's Preschool will have their meet at the Bath Field at 1 p.m. And to round off the school meets, we'll have the Charlestown Preschool at the Bath Field at 1 p.m. on March 24th. So that is what the calendar looks like for the schools. And then we have the culminating meet for us here on Nevis, and this calendar specifically focuses on the meet scheduled for us here on Nevis. And on April 1st, we'll at the Nevis Athletic Stadium, we'll have the Nevis Inter-Primary Schools Championship, and that will take place on at 12:30 p.m. So we look forward to your continued support, and we know, as I said, that it takes a lot to get to the point of being ready. Parents, I know, coaches, I know that they have been working to prepare the students mentally and physically for the track and field season, and we encourage you to continue to do that and to continue to shape and guide and nurture and develop the students even outside of the track and field season. But as we speak to the track and field season, that you do that and that you provide the necessary support during this track and field season. And so we also admonish you, we encourage you to put measures in place to support our students and to support them well. The support will come from the school level, the support will come from the parental household level, but we know that the support is important. As we talk through and as we look at what types of tips that we would give to you during this time, you remember that for younger athletes, we encourage you to train smart, not hard. We don't want to over exert or we usually say burn out the athletes early, and so you're making sure that you're focused on their holistic well-being. Last week, as we talked about preparing for back to school and the importance of being healthy, we also spoke about and fighting the various viruses and flus that are going around right now. We talked a bit about the importance of hydration and nutrition, and this is even more important for our student athletes. Parents, students have to eat well. They have to eat balanced meals, drink lots and lots and lots of water, remain very hydrated, drinking their water before, during, and after practice and meets, and throughout the day, so that their body does not become dehydrated. We want to make sure, and children struggle with this, parents, we know they struggle with the balanced meals and especially the fruits and vegetables, but we need our children to have fruits as their snacks. They prefer chips and Cheetos, of course, we know, and chocolates and sweets and ring pops and all of those things. And while there is a place for a treat now and then, taking care of their bodies and having balanced meals, especially with the natural sugars coming from fruits and all of the other vitamins coming from their fruits and vegetables. And so please make sure that that's part of their meal. Those students on the school meals, of course, will get their balanced meals, but there are some persons who elect not to. And so if you're preparing the meals for lunch, make sure that you get that balance. For dinner when they get home, try to your best to also get that balance. I know that life gets very busy for us and parents. I know that some of you have many things that you're juggling, but as you raise student athletes, knowing that you're raising student athletes not just for now but for the long term, it's important that they get balanced meals. Avoid heavy meals, of course, before the competition, so you go with lighter snacks and fruits before then. Your coaches are going to guide you through specifically what they want, how they want things done, what they want done, and we ask you to listen to them. We've noted that this is track and field season, and so sometimes the school will ask you parents for depending on the activity that is happening. If it is not a PE day, they may ask you to send a change of clothes. Please try your best to adhere, and on the PE days, please make sure the students are wearing their PE uniforms, because that keeps them comfortable, and it's very difficult to do this level of activity in their school uniforms. I've noted that some students have shown up in the school uniforms during PE days during the first week, but I know that sometimes we forget the schedule and we get a little confused, especially after a relatively long break. A month is just about, it's a long time, and so you might have forgotten. So please pay keen attention, because with the level of activity that they're doing, we want them to be in comfortable clothes and comfortable shoes when they're doing that, to avoid any injury and to, of course, ensure their comfort. So they wear light breathable clothing that way, and of course that is very suitable for our weather, because we have a naturally warm climate here. Outside of the physical things that I spoke about, and the nutritional and hydration, part of it is building a strong mindset. And at the beginning of the year, we spoke at length about mindset and setting goals, and so that is the same that should obtain for our young student athletes. Setting personal goals, whether to meet or beat their personal best, not necessarily for just winning the gold, which is always, I think, the goal, but also to set goals that are manageable. So faster personal best, faster times, better form, improving strides, those types of things. Learning from their mistakes is important, and above all else, staying positive and confident, because improvement doesn't always happen, hardly ever happens overnight. It will take time to see the fruits of those efforts. Parents, please remember that rest is part of the training process, and so getting children to bed early at night is important. We want to make sure that student athletes get about minimum requirement of 8, but 8 to 10 hours of sleep is recommended for student athletes, and take rest days. So they shouldn't train 7 days a week. I know coaches don't train them 7 days a week. They're rest days, and those rest days are important because their body needs time to recover. We forget that sometimes because we're so focused on winning a championship or winning a medal that we forget that the rest in between helps them to get to that particular goal. And encourage the students, of course, to let you know if there's any form of pain. We often tell them just push through it, but sometimes pushing through it, most times pushing through pain, means that you can cause further injury. We don't want that to happen. Rest, rest, rest. If there's injury, if there's pain, that the students would have to rest their muscles or rest their bodies until they recoup. We encourage our student athletes, and I think parents, you are drivers and shapers in this regard, encourage you to that track and field are team-oriented sports. Yes, they have some individual events, but there are many team events, and at the end of the day, while you get your personal best, you want to work collaboratively with your team members, respecting the officials and the adults, respecting the coaches and parents. We're going to talk about this a bit more when we get closer to the interscholastic meets, but respecting the officials on the ground, and there are always consequences for our actions. We want you as parents, and to encourage your children as well, to celebrate the effort and improvement, not just the medals. So celebrate them, and you'll see as they grow into the sport, and if it's something that they're going to pursue, they will understand the importance of celebrating what I call the little wins. All right, so we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
8:60 a.m. The Powerhouse.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. This storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Oh. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Whoa. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
All right, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Ministry of Education at TAL. It is indeed a pleasure to be here in 2026 and to speaking with you and sharing with you and continuing to partner with all of you who have been following us for many, many years. We have been sharing some information that we think is appropriate and for some persons urgent and immediate, because we have gotten several calls related to the calendar and ensuring that it gets out so that persons can schedule accordingly. We just before the break, we're also giving some tips for our student athletes as they continue to prepare for the track and field season. Listen to your coaches, parents, have a conversation, be present. Let's not just drop off and pick up. We do that for church, we do that for school, we do that for everything else, but children love to see parental presence. And I know that we show up for competition day, but as far as possible, if we could show up and show the same level of support for practice days and training days, that also goes a long way. And because I constantly talk about balance, it would be remiss of me if I did not share with you that we want to see that level of balance also, that when you're showing up and showing out, that you show up and show out for their academics as well. Where they're struggling, you provide the supports and you have the conversations with the classroom teachers as well, so that we can come up with a plan to help our students holistically. As we close out that section on preparing for the track and field season, just a reminder that whatever you have to do, especially when you have meets to attend, the first one I think for our secondary schools, for the relay. So that relay is like 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks, 1 day from now. And so we have to start prepping for the relay day. And after that, the season just takes off. And so we want to encourage all of you to arrive where you're supposed to be early, have your proper mindset, get ready, get set to go. We are going to do the best that we can to support, and we wish you the very best in the endeavors. We know that there are going to be some challenge series happening for those who have the aspirations of qualifying for or trying out for the Carifta Games, which are slated for April in Grenada. And so there will be a series of opportunities for our students to qualify, and there is one this weekend, and this particular one will take place on St. Kitts. So we wish those students who are going towards those qualifiers every success as well. Okay, so that is the focus on the track and field season, which is just one part of what we have going for this school term. Last year we spoke at length of the Leeward Islands debating competition. So LIDC 54 will be right here on Nevis. And that takes place in just about a month and 2 weeks. So just about 6 weeks, we'll have the Leeward Islands debating competition happening here on Nevis, and we want to make sure that we have the necessary supports in place, and we're encouraging you, our listeners and viewers, to support our students, to support our debaters, to support our debating team. And so please, if there's anything that you have continued to do, you're accustomed to doing, we always need presence, we need financial assistance. The Debating Society, they generally garner some financial assistance, sponsors, and it's a good opportunity for institutions and entities to get their names listed during the competition and to get their ads out. And so we want to encourage you to be part of the process. So we are going to go through the activities, the moots, and the lineup and the date for you to be aware of what is happening there. We have coming up, it starts, the teams should arrive on February 25th. That's right around the corner, as I said. And we will have the welcoming of teams and those types of activities happening right at the onset, and then we will move into the moots right after the full schedule right after that. So the February 26th is the actual first day of debates. There will be some preliminary activities happening on the 25th, not necessarily public activities, but preliminary activities. Then we will have debate 1, St. Kitts versus Montserrat. That is on the Thursday, the 26th. Even when on the nights when Nevis is not debating, we encourage you to come on out to support the other islands. We have to show just how much Nevisians are in support of debate and in support of the holistic development and the academic development, oratory skills, building those oratory skills within our students. And so debate 1, St. Kitts versus Montserrat. U.S. deportation policies are a major catalyst for crime in the Caribbean. U.S. deportation policies are a major catalyst for crime in the Caribbean. That's the first night of debates. There will only be one debate that night. On night 2, we'll have one debate as well, and that is St. Martin versus Anguilla. And the moot is ministerial interference in the public sector undermines good governance in the Caribbean. Ministerial interference in the public sector undermines good governance in the Caribbean. That's the Friday night, night 2. The Saturday night, we have debate 3, and debate 4 happening. So on Saturday we'll have 2 debates. Winner of debate 1, and reminder, debate 1 would have been St. Kitts versus Montserrat, and the winner of that debate will come up against Antigua, and the moot is the reliance on tourism in the Caribbean region undermines sustainable development. The reliance on tourism in the Caribbean region undermines sustainable development. And then on that night, we will have the winner of debate 2 versus Nevis. Nevis comes up for the first time on the Saturday night, and that will be either St. Martin or Anguilla, and we will have the moot: regional integration should be prioritized over global alliances. Regional integration should be prioritized over global alliances, and that will take place on the Saturday night. So we look forward to seeing that, and just so you can get a sense, Nevis is going to oppose that moot. If you have, and because I'm speaking on behalf of us here on Nevis, the debaters will be here with us in the next couple of weeks as well. But if you are willing to support the preparation process and support the debating process in any way, please reach out to the Nevis Sixth Form and let them know in what way you are interested in supporting. Nevis will oppose this topic. Regional integration should be prioritized over global alliances. Okay, the Sunday debates, that's the final winner of debate 3 versus winner of debate 4. I'm hoping that Nevis is the winner of debate 4. So I'm calling it that we'll go back one more night. And the moot is Caribbean governments should provide free tertiary education to citizens up to undergraduate degree level. The Caribbean governments should provide free tertiary education to citizens up to the undergraduate level. In this case, Nevis will be the winner of debate 4. So Nevis will propose the topic. I'm speaking it into existence. So we will be in agreement with the topic that Caribbean governments should provide free tertiary education to citizens up to the undergraduate level. And so that is the moot, the final, that is what the final debate will look like. And so we are looking forward to your support. As I said, we have 4 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 exciting nights of debate, 6 topics that are very exciting. And so we want to encourage you to just support as far as possible. All right, so with that said, we also know that the process is not just limited to the presentation of the debates, but there will be fringe activities that focus on the debaters specifically. It's not generally open interaction, but if there is anyone who would like to support, if there's anyone who would like to make a contribution, if there are any business entities that want to be listed as sponsors for the 2026 Leeward Islands debating competition, we need to you can reach out to the Nevis Sixth Form, the staff sponsor, and everyone there would be more than happy, more than willing to assist, to support you, to accept to your support, to guide you in terms of the ways in which you can support, and we can go from there. So sponsors, we are looking forward to your support. You come forward, and this gives you a chance to have access on the regional stage. The debates will be live streamed. Your business will get regional attention, and so we want you to from this point on think about, if you haven't, and usually we get very, very good support from the business community, but I don't know how many of us have realized that the competition will take place here on Nevis. So we want to encourage you to come on board now if you haven't done so as yet. We just have 6 weeks to go. The countdown is on, and we look forward to your presence and your support at that stage. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Sugar City St. Kitts, keep it sweet. Keep listening to Vaughn.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Ministry of Education et al., and we have been using this opportunity and this platform this morning just to give everyone a sense of just some of the things that will be happening in the first quarter or so, the first part of 2026 in relation to our various departments. We have other activities which we will share out with you over the next few weeks, but we want to make sure that you are also aware of those that may have to do a quick save the date on. We say to our parents, to our listeners, that the balance that we're talking about is not easily achieved, and so I'll touch on the fact that right around the corner, once we've cleared this track and field season and we've cleared the Leeward Islands debating competition, the next round that we have to focus on is actually the external examinations, and so you have to keep your eyes on those goals as well, because those start as soon as we finish the Easter break, or actually some of them start during the Easter break. And so it's a continuous cycle, it's a continuous process, and we cannot be so fixed on one activity that we miss that we have several others that are going on. And I know, as I said, while the track and field season, the football season, the sports, they bring a lot of excitement and short-term gratification, we also know that there are targets that are right there around the corner that they have to be working towards as well, while balancing all of these things that are happening. We have a very small community, a very small society, a small island in terms of its physical size, but many things happening, and our students, our children, our young people have to learn the importance of balance and have to be able to master navigating several things at one time. As we speak, during last week, we had our first week of the January sitting of the CXC CSEC examinations, and we were able to see for the first time a blended paper 2 happening this week, and with that blend, and CXC is now trying to transition to the not sending the paper-based examinations. And of course, that is a different space. While our students love technology and they use technology well and they use it all the time, we know that it is a slightly different space for our students. So they were able to finish week 1, and then we go into week 2 next week, and they'll finish out those exams. I was speaking to the paper, so instead of sending the physical examination paper, the students had the questions for the paper 2 on the screen, and they answered within their answer booklet, and then of course those will be sent off to CXC. For those of us, we feel very archaic now, but for those of us who did the exams back in the day, you know that the examiner had to bring the exam packet. They'll have some students inspect and sign to say that it was sealed when they got to the room, and then after that the students would have to actually break the seal on their individual paper and have the receipts after that they give in, and they get the examiner to sign, and they hold on to those until after the exam is done. Some of parts of those processes have been eliminated through this hybrid approach, and the aim, I think, ultimately is to have the exams being totally virtual. That's ultimately and that is not something that's like locally just on the ground. That is something that's a regional thrust. Many years ago, CXC started with the multiple choice online, and that was running for some time for some of the subjects. Started off with CAPE. They had some of the subjects online, the multiple choice online for some subjects, and this year they had the paper 2. All of the paper 2s for the January sitting were on the screen, and with the students writing in their answer booklet. Any transition, of course, does not come without its challenges, but we want to commend and applaud the various stakeholders here who, during the course of the first week of the exams, were present. We had the the technicians present. We had, of course, our invigilators, our examiners there, making sure that the students were as comfortable as possible as they transition into this different space. Maybe for the students it's not as different because they spend a lot of time, lot of time using the screen, so it might not be a major discomfort for our younger population. But I know that there are adults who sit exams, and I know it was a transition for them as well. But whatever the case, we applaud you for the attempt. We applaud you for giving it your best shot, and we applaud, of course, with this challenge, with this change, comes the potential to address some of the challenges that have been faced over time, especially challenges related to examinations being revealed before the time, the scheduled time and things like that, because the students would have to log in, and there's a process for them to log in and access the paper. And so that is I think another level of security, and it addresses one issue that has been faced over time. And the shift addresses several issues. As the examination body goes through this change, though, we encourage parents to remain alert, students to remain alert, so that you know what is expected, what will be happening. This announcement was not made just before the exam. This announcement was made well in advance, and so our students were aware, or should have been aware, of what would be expected for the cycle. I know during the 2025 briefing, every year there's an annual briefing, and the announcement was made that the 2026 cycle will see that on-screen exam for the paper 2. So as we continue to adjust, the reality is that life will not remain the same, that things will continue to happen that have never happened before, and we have to make the necessary adjustments. That is why in building skills in our students, it is not merely enough to teach content, but to build skills. And when we speak about those 21st century skills being at the forefront of the work that we do, we have to make sure that people understand, and we all understand, that we are preparing our students for a world that we don't know what it will look like. And we said that loosely 10 years ago, and if we look look back 10 years and then look at where we are now, we would say maybe even 2 months ago, we are preparing our students, we are preparing our young people for a world that we do not have any clue what it would look like. Who thought 10 years ago that we'd be wrangling with and grappling with things like AI? We thought we had reached the pinnacle with Google and search engines, right? In terms of speed, in terms of ability to, and the work that the programmers are doing, in terms of the rate of output. It used to take a long time to edit a video. It doesn't take as long now to do it because there are strategies, there are tools. And so all I'm saying in this space is that even with the shifts happening within the examination space, those will continue to happen. There will be unprecedented shifts year after year, but we want to encourage everyone, to encourage our students to rise to the challenge and to be resilient and to remain focused, because no matter what comes your way, as long as you're prepared and you're focused, you will be able to navigate the various things that come your way. Sometimes we will falter, sometimes we will fall, but the important thing is that we never stay down, that we always rise to the challenge and get back up again when we falter or fall, so that we can keep going. That is the mindset that we have to inculcate adults into our students. That things, all kinds of things will happen around them. Sometimes it will feel like the world is crashing in. Sometimes it will feel like things are changing too fast. For us, and I'm categorizing myself now with the older population, for us, the older ones, definitely feels like things are going very fast. And persons who are older than I am, things are going very fast and changes are coming faster than we've ever anticipated. And I've heard persons say, oh, I never thought that I would see the day. Right? And most of us never thought about it because it wasn't something that we could really formulate in our minds. It's not a concept that is meaningful to us. And so every time, we're surprised as things develop. But as we speak, many other things are happening behind the scenes that we will have to face, that we will have to navigate. And because we never conceptualize them, because we don't have any they're very abstract concepts to us. When they come our way, they can seem daunting, but we have to keep pressing on and applying those skills in your homes. Parents, make sure your children are getting the sense of the importance of thinking through critically, applying knowledge, applying content, but above all else, that they can analyze and determine, does this make sense to me? If yes, why does it? If no, why not? And while we try to build those skills, as I said, within the classrooms, we know that the classrooms don't operate in isolation. I've had the privilege of interacting with parents all the time, and my response is always the same. We're in this together, and we hold each other accountable, but we also make a contribution towards the development of the child. As I think the early childhood unit puts it best, there's a three-prong. There's actually a logo on every early childhood release. A part of their logo, there's always the shirt, the school shirts. Even the schools have their individual logo. There's a three-prong logo that has three parts that shows the child, the parents, parent and community, and the school working together for the child's development. And that is how we have to look at all of these things coming our way. So for those students who have to sit the multiple choice paper for the January 2026 sitting, which will continue next week, for those of you, we wish you the best in those exams. Those exams are 100% computer based. So while I spoke to the paper 2 being on screen and you write in your booklet, as it is now, the paper 1 is 100% on screen. So to all, we wish you a very productive week. Look forward to sharing the 2026 track and field calendar with you. We know that, and so just stay tuned to that, and we look forward to sharing the LIDC calendar with you as well, so that you can join us on the journey to LIDC 54 right here on Nevis. Thank you so much. We wish you a wonderful, wonderful, safe, healthy week, and we look forward to joining you next week when we will have the chance to have the ECCB Children's Connection program.